Good afternoon. This is Mr. Russo, your summer eClass principal, coming to you live from Young and Shepherd here at the TCDSB Catholic Education Center. Thanks for making the time. And if you're not able to join us live and synchronously, please just click on the link again and it'll turn into a recording. Lots of good information, not just information that I'm sharing, but also information that's coming to you from the students that are participating live, and also parents and guardians that are jumping in to this broadcast because we all have questions and we all want to set ourselves up for success. And this is the whole reason why I organize these live sessions, is to try to minimize that gap, the physical gap, that distance between the principal and yourselves. So again, my name's Joe Russo, your principal. Just want to mention, in case you were part of the broadcast this morning, I'll try not to repeat myself too much since that information is already available in a prior recording. Um, our program officially starts tomorrow, Wednesday, July the 3rd, 2019. And your course shells, if you're in session 1, will appear by tomorrow morning. We're dealing with quite a few registrations right now. We're sorting through them. And the reason why we are scrambling is because we're trying to assist as many students as possible, given that many students have been given notice by their summer school, their face-to-face summer school courses, that their courses have been canceled. So we're trying to help students register and transition from where they were registered into our online program, hence a little bit of the delay. But also we need to assign the teacher, we need to balance courses so that there's an equal number, a consistent number within each of the sections. So you may even move from one course to another course, not different courses, but within the same course, but a different section. So friendly reminder not to submit any work. You're free to go in, have a look around, poke around, introduce yourself to your teacher. But in terms of submitting work, your teachers know that the first completed and uploaded and shared assignment or task is not due until end of day on Monday of next week. Okay, so many of you are in the chat already and asking questions. That's awesome. So I'm going to cut right into the chat. And before I actually do that, I just want to let everyone know that a decision was made regarding a handful of courses that had less than 10 students registered, which is why those courses have been canceled. I have someone right now contacting you based on the email or phone number that you provided when you registered, letting you know that the course is not happening. It has been canceled, and we're inviting you to select a different course or push your registration into session 2. And then that way, if we have existing registrations already in session 2, plus those that were moving over from session 1, we are again looking at a larger number for that particular course. For an updated list of courses that have been canceled, please go to www.tcdsb.org/eClass, all one word, eClass. Okay, so other than that, I'm going to remind you that if you have sent an email to eregister@tcdsb.org, please refrain from sending another one, because all you're doing is, again, building up more and more emails in there. Right now, we're close to 600 emails, and we are going to try to get to them. But if you are sending a duplicate email of your request, that's just, again, just clogging up the whole process. So I'm going to cut now to the chat area, because a lot of students, I think, are carried over from this morning. But I will mention again, in case you missed the first broadcast, that these YouTube sessions are completely voluntary. They're not mandatory in any way. It's just an opportunity to give you a chance to ask questions. That's it. Okay. So I'm just going to have a look at the chat here. Wow, quite a few questions. My login is not working with the OEN number. Not a problem. Like I had mentioned, if you've already emailed us at eregister@tcdsb.org, we'll get to you shortly within the next day or so. Okay. Does anybody know where we're going to be writing our exams? Yes, it's already public information that was available to you as soon as we opened up registration in the first week of May. Your final exams for grade 12 university level courses will be face-to-face in-class exams, and they'll be held here at 80 Shepherd Avenue East. Because there are so many courses and so many students that will be writing an exam that day, we're going to be having an AM session and a PM session, which will be that confirmation of when your exam is going to happen that day will come to you through your teacher. Okay, so stay tuned. It's amazing how some students are trying to answer other students' questions. That's really, really awesome. How do we view lessons on our courses? And I was wondering if there is an exam for civics and careers. Again, these are all questions because it's hard for me to know the details of every single course. That's what you're going to do is you're going to ask your teacher. So as soon as you log in, what you're going to do is you're going to go to an icon called class list. All right. And once you go to your class list, you're going to see a list of names. There's a column titled role. And once you recognize the role assigned as teacher, then that would be your teacher that's assigned. All you have to do to contact them is click on their name. A window will open up for you to compose a message, and then your email will go to them, and then they'll respond from there. Okay, so in terms of viewing your lessons, if you're not familiar with the online platform, you have been enrolled in a student orientation course, and that course is available to you at any time. You can just go in, watch any of the tutorials, any of the content that's there that walks you through how to use quizzes, how to use content, how to use the assignments folders. All of that discussions, all of that stuff is nicely packaged and organized for you to review and learn at your own pace. As well, above and beyond the orientation course and these live sessions, you also have an opportunity to sit down with a teacher, not necessarily your teacher, but a e-learning teacher or an e-learning teacher. And you can do so this week between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. We have teachers out here in the atrium on the second floor at the Catholic Education Center, and they can sit down with you and make sure that you're familiar with how to access all the functionality within your online course. They won't necessarily answer your subject-specific questions, but they'll show you how to navigate your course and give you some advice. Okay? And that's happening today, tomorrow, all the way out to Friday, so 4 days. All right. Victor acknowledging that was a good question. I like that. Awesome. Hello, will I be able to access my online course? I cannot find it on D2L. So if you can't see your course as of right now, just send us one email with your OEN number or your TCDSB username, and then we will respond to you very, very soon. Okay? All right. Are we going to have a time schedule of the course? So in terms of how your course is going to be administered, in terms of the pace, the schedule, the calendar, when things are due, when things are happening, you're going to have to log in every day. You're going to have to log in every day and make sure that you're on top of everything. And then in terms of when things are happening, you're going to have to reach out to your teacher for that, right? So your teacher, just like in day school, will inform you as to when things are happening, and then you would follow up with them. Okay? Hi, Mr. Russo. I had a few questions for you. Will there be an exam for ICS 3U and also for ASM 2.0? When will my session 2 course be added? I think I'm repeating myself a bit, but that's okay. If your course is not there in session 1, let us know. And for session 2, your course will appear within 5 days. We're still assigning teachers and we're still registering students. Okay? In terms of the final exam, yes, you will get that information from your teacher as well. if after the course starts, I'm looking to drop the course, what is the final date for the drop before any kind of academic penalty? So I've already published that information. If you look at the eClass site, what I'll do in the chat area as well is I'll put in a link that summarizes, a link that provides you um, a link that will connect you to the summary of the program, which was shared way back when. So I'm just entering it in right now. Okay, so bit.ly/eClass 2019 SS. That'll take you to a Google Doc that you can download, you can print, and you can review, and it has all of the dates for session 1, session 2, and so on and so forth. Before I forget some of the basics here, you want to use Google Chrome as your internet browser. Right off the top, wanted to mention that. As well, if you're having any other issues other than logging in, what you're going to do, like if you're having issues with compatibility with your browser and your computer and so on and so forth, then what you can do is you can contact D2L directly, and D2L will then try to troubleshoot what it is that's going on that's keeping you from accessing the full version of what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, how does attendance work? You have to log in every day. What your teacher does is your teacher will quickly scan the class list and see the last time that you've logged in, and then that will be reported back to me and the administration team, and then we will be following up with attendance. So please log in daily. Okay. All right. Your course begins tomorrow, which means you're going to log in. You're going to find your course. You're going to email your teacher. You're going to poke around and have a look at any calendar that was shared, any content that was shared. You're going to start doing your work. But what I was saying regarding those students that are registering a bit late is that we want to give them time to submit their first assignment all the way up to the first Monday. Okay, so there's really no confusion around that. We're trying to accommodate as many as we can, given that some summer school courses have been canceled at face-to-face school sites. Okay. Okay, many questions here. Only grade 12 exams. I can see some of you are trying to answer other students' questions again. That is amazing. How do you know if how do I know if I'm registered for the course? Well, that's a great question. You would have known by going to your guidance counselor to register, okay? If you registered through our internet, through our site, rather, that would be through the Con Ed continuing education site. Then you would have had to print out your registration forms, had them signed, and then you would have had to pass them on to us to finish processing. If you know that you've done all of that, then all you need to do is send an email to eregister@tcdsb.org, and then we will see your signed documents and finish processing your registration, and then we'll reach out to you and let you know that it's finished. Okay. Just looking through more of the questions, although I'm taking the grade 11 online religion. Are there going to be any online tests? What day is the exam? Again, this is a question where you're going to follow up with your teacher. I know that there are quite a few teachers that are teaching and students that are taking the religion course. Once you log in, your teacher, I'm pretty sure, will have a list of items and a calendar indicating when things are happening, what's due, and so on and so forth. And if not, just send them an email and ask for an update. I'm sure that they would have already had something laid out, given that we start tomorrow. Yes, the final exam for grade 12 university courses only, which are face-to-face only, happen at the Catholic Education Center on Friday, July the 26th for session 1. In the AM and PM, your time will be confirmed by your teacher. Okay. Okay, let's see. Except for grade 12. Tomorrow, do we log in at 8:30 and will our teacher be there live? Awesome, to teach us. Great question. So the expectation is that you log in daily and that you keep up to date with what's due, participate in any discussions, send your teacher's emails, your teacher emails, connect with your students, your fellow students if there are any group discussions. But in terms of a live teacher, unless the teacher designates a specific time frame of which they will be online, then you won't necessarily be online at the same time. But if they designate that they want to host some sort of video conference online at a specific time, then yes, then you'll have an opportunity to be online together. If they decide to publish that they'll be hosting hours online at the same time, if students want to join them, then it doesn't necessarily have to mean a video conference. It could just mean that you're online, logged into the platform at the same time, and you can send each other emails. You can use the chat function. I'm going to defer to your teacher to take the lead on that, okay, and provide direction. Just looking at more questions here. Hi, Mr. Russo. I gave my sheet of choice of summer school to the student success area of my school, confirming that I wanted to do eClass, but I don't see my eClass in e-learning. So if that's the case, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to contact the school, and specifically those student success teachers that have your registration form, because they need to either register you with the guidance counselors at the school, or they need to send us the registration form that has been signed by your parents confirming that you have the prerequisite. And they can easily just, or yourself can take that registration form, scan it using a scanner, and then email it to eregister@tcdsb.org, and then we'll finish processing the registration. Right? We have to account for all the documents, all the registration forms, and so we have to make sure the prerequisites are confirmed and we have the right information, because heaven forbid that we register someone with the wrong OEN number and you don't get credit for that course. So we have to do things properly. Even if it means that registration is delayed a bit, what matters is our target date is to have registration open and closed, open until and closed by this Friday for session 1. Okay? All right. The link that I put in the chat is, I'll put it in again, bit.ly/eClass 2019 SS. Okay, so I put it in the chat area. How many hours a day does online school usually take or take up? There's no perfect answer to that because it depends on how your course is set up. If your content is set up in such a way that you have to be online and you're reading and interacting and participating in some sort of group discussion or discussions, then you could likely be spending more time logged in and being actively engaged in the platform. If instead you're logging in and you're taking away what needs to be done and working on it somewhere else, then that would be a totally different, limit in terms of how much time you're putting in directly on the platform. If you're looking at an overall workload for summer school, I would say similar to, being in a physical in-class site for summer school, you're putting in at least 4 solid hours a day in doing your work, right? That involves not just doing your work, the research, the drafts and tests and evaluations and assessments, but you're also communicating with your teacher, asking for that feedback, giving the teacher time to provide the feedback, right? Being organized, being proactive and not reactive, because we all know that if you're going to ask a teacher 2 hours before something is due to give you some kind of direction or feedback, that's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. The teacher's working with 30 plus kids. They themselves need to have peace of mind of, being able to handle an influx or having those conversations with students where a commitment is made that you'll send over, a rough draft by 10 a.m. versus 4 p.m. because then they'll understand how to allocate their own time. They're not going to be online 24/7 like the platform. So if you want to set yourself up for success, you also have to set up the teacher, right? Because they're not going to be able to accommodate 30 plus students and 30 plus requests at different times, right? Okay. So great question. If you can't see your courses, contact eRegister. Perfect. Thank you. Does eClass extend during weekends? Wow, what a fantastic question. So officially, no, but you can always take the time on the weekend to do your work, just like you would if you have work assigned, from day school, right? So if you're asking if the teacher will be online on the weekend, the answer on my end is it's not required. They're working during the week. But I don't know. You may have arrangements where the teacher is trying to parse up their time so that they're available more frequently and for shorter periods of time throughout the week. I'm not sure. I'm not going to define that parameter because by defining it, we're going to lose a little bit of flexibility around e-learning. And so both teacher and student are working throughout the week, and I'll defer to the teacher in terms of the set schedule, whether it's Monday to Friday, or if they encourage any sharing on the weekend in order to mitigate less traffic during the week. So I defer to them, but officially it is only during the week. Great question. Where do I find the how-to video? So the how-to video in terms of navigating the platform, everything is in a course shell that's titled Student Orientation. So that has all the course content that has tutorials and so on and so forth. Okay, just gonna take a little bit of water here. The course does end on July 29th, officially. What I was referring to before was that on the 26th, we have final exams, right? Then the 29th is in place for everyone to review their final exams online with their teachers, discuss their culminating activities, also discuss their final marks, and then we print report cards, and they can be picked up that week. Okay. How would the exam work? The face-to-face in-class exam is just like any other exam. You show up 15 minutes at least before, and then you have 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much time your exam is designated for. And if you have an individual education plan, I encourage you to share that with your teacher. If you're a Toronto Catholic student, then they will have access to it. But if you're a non-Toronto Catholic student, then you should share a copy of the IEP with them, and then note that it will be destroyed upon completion of the course. Okay? I'm able to log in, but there are no assignments or introduction given by the teacher yet. Will it be updated tomorrow? Yes. Yeah, so courses will go live tomorrow. And again, the reason being that there's nothing there because sometimes students start ahead of time and they submit work, and then in the background, we're moving students around because there's too many in one course, and then we got to move them into another course to balance out the number. So we don't want students to, be disrupted to the point where they submitted work, but now they're doing it again in another course with another teacher. So that's why. Okay. In the chat area, what I'm doing is I'm just typing in the name of the website that you can go to, which is just a Google Doc that summarizes the program information. So I can tell that some of you can't find it. You can just send me an email and then I'll send it to you directly. Okay? Okay. Just looking around. Final exam is at the board office, 80 Shepherd Avenue East. Okay. Okay. You can log in at any time. That's correct. Wait, is it normal if I don't see session 1? Yes. Yeah, just let us know if you don't see session 1 yet. It could be that we're adding a teacher and adding a section. So just send us an email at eregister at tcdsb.org. Okay. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, if you're a Toronto Catholic student, then your student number will be the same. If you're a non-Toronto Catholic student, then what you're going to notice is that your student number will be different. So when your teacher is updating marks, and the marks are summarized according to or reported according to student number, you won't be able to find your student number because it won't match your TCDSB student number. So you're going to end up with a new student number, okay? So in order to find that out, again, just inform your teacher, letting them know that you can't see your student number, and then they will get a hold of the new student number and share that with you, okay? Let's see here. For grade 11 math exams, is it face-to-face or online? Only grade 12 university will be face-to-face. Every other exam that's scheduled will be online. Okay? Okay. Like I said, thank you so much for jumping in on the broadcast today. So many good questions. If you've already sent us an email, please refrain from sending another. We will get to all the emails. I'm just going to hang up in a couple of minutes here and get right back to work, making sure that your program is ready to go for everyone. But other than that, this was a great session. Great questions. How long are career studies? Again, every course starts July 3rd and ends July 29th for session 1. And for session 2, courses start July 16th and they end August the 12th. Okay. In account settings, how do you add an external email? That's a great question. I think we've enabled that, but if we haven't, just send me an email and then I will get back to you on that. Okay. Okay. If you haven't heard from us and you've sent us an email, not to worry. Again, we've got about 5 people in the background that are trying to respond to as many questions as possible. So yeah, just sit tight. Like I said, we don't officially start until tomorrow. And your first assignment or activity in terms of upload is not due until the end of day on Monday. Okay. All right, folks, I'm going to sign off for now. I can hear my throat already giving way. I did a lot of talking already today. But thank you for joining, and thank you for asking the questions. This link will turn into a recording. If you know anyone that needs to have any clarity around taking an online course or they weren't able to join us live, just pass on the link or remind everyone that we have another 7 live sessions that are scheduled here that you can ask questions. Okay. So with that, I'm going to sign off. And yeah, I know. I need to get some halls. So with that, I'm going to sign off. And I will have another session scheduled for tomorrow. I believe the schedule for tomorrow is session at 3 o'clock to 3:30 if you want to join and ask any questions. All right. No, I don't play Fortnite. All right. Take care, folks. Have a good day. Bye for now.